Good morning, Flosstube. My name is Mandy. Welcome to my channel all about cross stitch. My pronouns are she, her. Today is Saturday, May 10th, 2025. And yeah, it's been a couple weeks. I've been trying to stay on like an every other Friday type of scheduling with filming. Didn't get around to doing it yesterday. And so it's Saturday morning. You're probably hearing a bird chirping outside. It's a beautiful day here in Michigan. I've got patio door open. Stitches is running around like crazy. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Hope you enjoy what you see and stick around a little bit. I've got a black cat named Stitches. So if I refer to Stitches, it's not always talking about my cross stitch. She's such a gem. I absolutely adore that little thing. She keeps me entertained, that's for sure. If you're a returning viewer, thank you. Always appreciate your love and support. Got some good stuff, I feel. It's been a couple weeks. Like I said, I don't have a whole lot of variety to share. I've kind of been getting on a kick of working on a project, and it's kind of about the only thing that I work on. I've got a project I'll show in a minute that I've kind of really been focusing on my lunch and breaks. I work from home, so you know, I get a half an hour break every day and an hour lunch, and many days I get up from the couch, move over here on said breaks and lunches, and there's one piece that it's my oldest whip, and I'm gonna be this close to getting it finished. So plan on having that finished by my next video, no doubt about that. Yeah, I do have plans of doing a little bit of a Flosstube extra this week. I just checked routing. I just checked tracking, the USPS tracking. I've got a package expected to be delivered on Monday. And it is something that I've purchased, but it's also going to be a surprise. So surprise to me. I had a friend do some shopping for me, and so kind of in conversation, mentioned about how I'm excited to see what she picked out for me, and she definitely had some fun with the secret shopping. And so I said, so does this mean that I should do an unboxing video? And she says, maybe. So we're gonna do an unboxing so she can see the reactions of what she picked up for me. But that'll come this week. It'll probably be less than a 10-minute video, but it'll be fun. I think I showed starting the stitch. No, actually, I think I had the finished stitching, but I didn't have the actual fully finished object of it, but it's in the mail. Hopefully it's been received by now. I haven't heard. The artist trading card of the little Super Mario guy. Well, it's Mario. The theme for this, well, the swap was hosted by Heather at Link is My Homeboy. She's got another account to follow on Instagram. It's Stitchy Swap and ATC underscores between each of those words. The theme this round was video games. And like I said, I believe I showed last time that I had the finish of Mario. I had to make it. So it looks big, but this is just my normal 2.5 by 3.5. I just used a basic yellow piece of cardstock, that's the word. And I was at Michael's and I found what I felt to be the absolute perfect stickers of mushrooms. It was just a little, I found it in like the kids crafty section. It was not Mario theme, but I spied the mushrooms. I'm like, that's just, it's too perfect. So I just kept it pretty basic, fussy cut Mario out of the fabric, tacked him onto the cardstock, and added stickers. And I just thought it turned out so cute. That was from an Etsy shop. I don't remember that's the name or anything like that. It was one part of, like, it had Princess Peach, Mario, and Luigi, and then other little symbols and such from the game itself. All right, so that was my artist trading card. Love making those. Hopefully I'll get mine in return soon, and I will share that in my next video. My next project is a new start. If you were with me 2 weeks ago, last video, I had received it would have been the April fabric of the month from Bestitch Me. The love that I have for this fabric meant I needed to find something to stitch on it immediately. I had the idea of something in mind of monochromatic. So scrolling Etsy, scrolling companies like Modern Folk Embroidery and Long Dog and some of those, monochromatic companies. One kept coming up in like my Etsy search for a pattern that I already have, that I already had plans in mind of how I was the look that I had in mind that I wanted to stitch that particular piece. I already had the fabric, I had the floss, I just hadn't started it, and I had the pattern, and I just hadn't started it yet. The more it kept coming up in my Etsy search of monochromatic, I'm like, that would work. So I started it. I'm loving it. And it completely changed the mood of the piece, but in the best way possible. Absolutely love it. Piece I decided to go with is Exquisite Lace from Works by ABC. My initial plan, so a friend gifted me a hank of silk. Incredible friend who didn't have any plans for it, very graciously passed it on. And so that piece, well, this piece, that hank of silk, I had in mind of doing it on a gray. I had Gray Magic pulled from Bestitch Me. It was the fabric of the month. And I'm like, perfect. It'll get started someday. Someday has come and gone and hadn't done anything about it. Oh, squirrel, but I got new glasses. So I decided to go with this. Here's the silk. This is part of it. I definitely learned a lesson that next time, if I ever have a hank of something, I found a video, Teresa Stitch, I don't even remember who it was, a friend, somebody recommended it and I had it saved, and it was cutting that hank into thirds. And I get why she had hers cut in thirds, because it was more of a variegated floss that it made sense. Plus, I guess she liked the length of those, and I went with that. They're too short. It's working. I'm making it work. You know, it's I've already started it, and it's not going to be a problem, and it's not that annoying. It's just definitely learned a lesson of just cut it in half, probably. I don't think I need it to be cut in thirds. So, oh my gosh, look at that purple. It is so pretty. Just absolutely love it. So like I said, this is a part of it. You'll see in some haul, show that. Here's my new start. This fabric, oh my goodness. It's just, I've got it under the Q-snap, but it's so incredible. The silk is a Silks for You. I don't have a name on it. I know that it had come in a stitchy box, not stitchy box, because that's a particular company. It came in a crafty box a few years ago. I tried looking back on the company to see if I could find if it had a number or something. I couldn't find it anywhere. I know what box it came in, but I never really found. Either way, it's a Silks for You. I have no clue if it's something that was exclusive to that particular box, or if it was something that they still make. I don't know. It's a beautiful purple. So I'm just in the upper left corner. This is the fabric, I don't know if I said it, Bestitch Me. It was April's fabric of the month, called Wild Blossom. I literally just looked it up. Why do I feel like I forgot it already? That's why it didn't sound right. Wild Bouquet. 16 count, and then I'm using 2 strands of the silk over one. I did have to do some frogging the first day that I started. So this is the top center, and then I'm just working to the left. I've got it on an 11-inch Q-snap, so, you know, we'll work as far as we can. I know this is, yeah. Let's see. How do we're talking right up in here. So it's literally just one little hump. It's a big project. It's over 27,000 stitches. I had initially purchased this as a paper pattern, probably market when it first came out or something. And then at some point when I was really, probably when I got the floss and all that, getting ready to start, I realized that she had it as a PDF available on her Etsy shop. So we've got a paper pattern, but I purchased the PDF and it went into Pattern Keeper perfectly. I did have to just pick a DMC color. I just picked, you know, to label it. So I just labeled it as DMC 550. It may be more of like a 552. I don't know. It's somewhere right in the range of 550. I figured I just needed it for labeling purposes. So, yeah. There's a lot to it. Like I said, it's over 27,000 stitches. This isn't even 2%, but it's a project. You know, it's not anything that I have any set goals in mind of trying to finish. I mentioned in a stitch chat last night that whoever Kim, was it Cozy Egg or somebody? It's whoever it is I don't watch, I know, started the term SWEWE, stitch what you want when you want, acronym. I mentioned to somebody that I feel like that acronym was started with me in mind, because literally I was sitting working on a full coverage piece, and I looked over and saw this sitting there. I'm like, I want to work on that. So 10 o'clock last night, I switched projects. Might not have been that late, but so yeah. Needle minder. It's the Lace Shop. I've been enjoying getting these needle minders from Gina's Unique Needle Minders on Facebook, and she's got all these kind of shops. And what better needle minder for a piece called Exquisite Lace than the Lace Shop? So, oh, I love this piece. All right, moving on. Oldest Whip. This is the one that's going to, it should be finished next time. So I mentioned I got new glasses. I'm still getting used to them. I apparently am not ready for bifocals, but I'm a step before needing them, I guess. And so apparently there's something with the lenses to, like, the bottom portion, that when I look down at something, supposed to help make me see that better. Well, you know, closer up vision portion. I don't know if it's just my eyes aren't used to it yet, or, I mean, I really hope that it's not a wrong prescription type of a situation, but I don't know. It's been an adjustment, I'll say that. Oldest Whip is from this Just Cross Stitch magazine. This is the August 2017 issue. I started this back in August of 2017 because I saw it in the flipping through the magazine, and I was like, I gotta stitch that. So I found some white Aida, pulled the floss, and I started it, and it's been a whip ever since. This is Bergamo Borders from Sheba Designs, and we are on this final band. I would have loved to have had it finished for today, but it just wasn't happening. But I literally just posted this on my Instagram stories that 2 of the 3 colors are now done. So we now have just 336 left to go. I'm hungry. Here we go. last time you saw it, I think honestly, I don't remember if I had this band done or not. Either way, here's where we're at now. So I just have these little arrows to fill in with blue. So DMC 336. And then this will be a finish. It's been a work in work of love, labor of love, I guess. I've really, honestly, super enjoyed working on this piece. It's been one of those that, yeah, I started this in 2017, and it's not like there was an issue that it sat. It just, honestly, it did sit for quite some time, just focusing on other things and all of that, and just hadn't gotten to it. It wasn't a priority piece to see it done or anything, but now that it's getting close to a finish, it's, yes, I want to get it done. I picked it up this morning when I got up and before I was ready to start filming, and I just finished the red. So literally finished up the red, took a picture to put on Instagram as my story, and then got my light together and started filming. So yes, this is my Bergamo Borders, and I love it, and we should see it finished very soon. I did not get the next piece ready to show. I forgot. I didn't have the preview picture handy. So it's gonna show the whole. Let's just go. I picked up Stitch for Pride. I've got January and February done, still had to do with March, so I've done some learning. I listened to people say the name, and now I don't. It was a couple days ago, and now I can't remember. Shijin, I think is what. Apologies if I just butchered that. So here's who we learned about. It's the QIU that I'm stumbling over how it was pronounced. I want to say it was like Shijin. So here's the portion of March sampler to do. I am doing it as the full sampler. Still have a needle thread hanging. So I don't want to keep butchering the name. Shijin, I think. I apologize if I'm butchering that. Was termed as China's Joan of Arc. Yeah. I don't know how to explain what else she's done. She's definitely, so I guess, I don't know if it's still a thing or it was back then. So she was 18th century end of 1800s into the 1900s. Something about wrapping their feet. So women had to have their feet like all scrunched up. So she was all about kind of getting away from the gender norms of women not having to have their feet wrapped up and shoved into shoes too small for them, and very much a fighter for yeah, some gender equality, I guess. This is stitched on a 20 or oh my gosh, I can't talk. 16 count Bestitch Me Stonehenge, I think, and I am stitching it with color and cotton in the color name Zinnia. So I have my here. I did not get the floss, so I had to find something that was comparable. And this might be a little brighter than originally called for. I know though, like called for floss has a little more white to it, but this is what I had in my stash. Got a long way to go, so definitely got to drag in with outline of a sword and all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely an enjoyable piece. I do have, like I said, January and February done. I feel like this one's definitely blending into the fabric a little more, so I'm trying to be a little more conscious of picking some flosses that might stand out a little better. But I do have a floss pulled for April. And I totally just dropped that. It was kind of a yellowish gold, so I found it in my stash at one point, came across it. I'm like, ooh, that'd be good for April. So haven't even begun looking at anything for May. Moving on. Let's see. Stitches. Can you come here? Excuse me. Last week, was it Friday night? Something about this piece popped into my mind. I'm like, ooh, I want to stitch on that. So I did. I stitched on it Friday and Saturday, and intentions to go back to it, and I just haven't yet. The way I want this piece to be my focus on a finish and just stitch on it until it's done. But I've committed to another piece as my focus on a finish this year, so yeah. There she is. Stitches. Hey. There's a tail. I know so many people love seeing her, so I was hoping to get her over here. Maybe we'll get her to come back. Yeah, I really want to work on this piece to a finish, but it's not going to happen just yet. Maybe, she almost dropped that. Maybe next year. It is still on the Q-snap. I'm not going to take it all off. We're sitting at about 53.8% or so. 16 count white Aida, 2 strands full cross. I finished out 2 colors. I was able to zero out 2 different colors when I was working on this. So like this green in this background, got that done. And then there was like 1, maybe 2 other shades that had just some very, very minor, like I think I found one color that literally had 1 stitch somewhere. So I got that one done. I cannot wait to get to that dress and start putting in more of those colors. But right now I'm working in the background. I am getting very close to being able to start working on the cat. The black cat sitting on a tombstone is gonna be over here, and that black, I mean, it's literally just solid black stitching that I'm hoping to be able to reach it soon so that I can, you know, put in a few strands on the cat, go work on more of the background, and just kind of eat away at some of that black. So this is the mini version. I don't even know if I said any of the details. This is Which Way. Artwork is by Rachel Anderson? No. I do this all the time. Molly Harrison, right? We're gonna look it up. Bear with me. I do not know what it is about this piece that for some reason I can never remember. View PDF. Molly Harrison. You would think one of these days I would actually remember because I do this every time. So yeah, was really just working into that background. I know that pumpkin was real confetti heavy. I got a couple more stitches left to finish in that pumpkin. But yes, that is my Which Way. Oh, I really want to just keep stitching on her. So bad. All right, last whip to share. This is my focus on a finish. I am stitching this for my mom, and I told her when I first started stitching it that it was not going to be a focus piece, that, you know, like in terms of I'm not a monogamous stitcher, I am going to be working on other things, but it was also starting like 21 or 22, and it's like, okay, it's maybe it was 22 or 23. I don't remember. It's coming to a point where it needs to be a finish. And I know she wants to be able to get it framed and enjoy. This is the mini version of Sea Opal. Artwork is by Elizabeth Welker, charted by Heaven and Earth. I did get a page finish, and I just dropped that whip. am a hot mess today. It's on the Q-snap, so I don't want to... I don't want to take it off the Q-snap. But I did get a page finished last time you saw. I believe it's page 8 that I got finished, so I am working on... there's a small... I don't even know what that was. A small... What is that? Oh. That's the Google. There's a small, like, 20 stitch wide page or so. So I'm working the 2 pages together. So I believe that's pages 9 and 10. I'm over the 50% mark. So what's funny is that I'm actually just a step ahead in terms of percentage on which way. This is at like 53% or something. And Sea Opal is at like 52%, but Sea Opal is bigger. Sea Opal has 105,000 and some stitches, and which way has like 70,000, I don't remember. So here we are. So this is the page finish that I got. You can see somewhat. So really just background, not even background, just picking a shade and stitching as far as I can, kind of thing. Again, 16 count white Ada 2 strands full across. This needle minder is much like those little shops that I just showed on Exquisite Lace. That one is the library. My mom is a big bookworm and got me into reading, so I figured using the library needle minder was a good fit. And that is most of my whips. Random not stitch it for me because that's something else. Tail ends project. So, I know Michelle Bendy was kind of one of the first, she was the first person that I saw that did this. I don't know if other people kind of, I don't know necessarily who started it. Michelle's who I first started seeing it. That she actually is using specific patterns. I came up with the idea of just, I grabbed a piece of white scrap Ada. It's just one of those little offcuts from a full coverage piece. And I'm just doing on a diagonal right now. So literally just when I finish up a strand that's too small to go back on the bobbin, or so I know Michelle uses it in terms of she doesn't add hers until she's done with a piece, a color on a piece. I'm using it if it's just too small to put on a bobbin with the confetti and such that I do. You know, if it's just a certain little length, I'm not bothering about putting it back on a bobbin. Or if I'm finishing on a color, like this is the red that I just finished on Bergamo Borders, so. Again, this is just a 16 count. My intention is to kind of this much of a, you know, same margin all the way around. And then I want to fringe, so I'm just going to do just above the fold there. I want to fringe the edges, and it's going to go into my stitchy scrapbook, stitchy journal. So yeah, that's my little tail ends. All right, so that is all of the whips and new starts and all that good stuff to share. I did receive this in the mail since you would have seen it last, or since I filmed last. I am doing a round robin with 3 other gals. I've been doing we've been doing round robins for the past, gosh, this is our 3rd year now. 2 years ago we did ink circles. Last year we did Carolyn Manning, and this year is a bit of a like finish my whip or, you know, work on my start type of thing. So this is a project of Danielle's. I now have 3. I have everyone else's projects except my own. Michelle has, so not Michelle Bendy, but Main Moose Mama. She's like done her portion, and just before it got misplaced in her home or whatever, she just shipped it on to me. And it's like, okay, I need to get some stitching done. So now I have Danielle's. This is a modern folk embroidery. I looked it up, Spirits of the Dead, I think. Yeah, it's Spirits of the Dead, I think it is. I know something about the pattern comes, I think, 2 different options. So it's a inverse. So like original pattern, you stitch opposite of what you're seeing. So Danielle got the like inverse, where like you normally would have stitched the vase, whereas this is now in the negative space. I know Megan finished out the words. Michelle added in some of this band. So literally there's not a whole lot left to do. Just meet up the corner. So it's Edgar Allan Poe is what is left in here. So I'll add some, and it's stitched with an ecru. So I will get some stitches added into this eventually. And get that sent back to Danielle. Only a little bit of haul that I have to share. I got the idea with that Henkel floss that the silk, it wasn't all gonna fit on this little thingy. This is a thread sorter from Delicious Threads. I've got there was a Michelle Bendy collaborative thing that it was a snowbird. Is that what it was? A project bag, one of these, and a needle minder and all that good stuff. So gosh, that was 2020 maybe, 2019. So I had this in my stash. It's, and I was just, kind of using it to wrangle some of this. But I have a lot more than what's going to fit on this. And so right now it's just all in a project bag. I got the idea that I wanted floss bobbins. So I just went on to Etsy and wanted to find a good pack of floss drops. And so they're from Primrose Cottage. So the shop, I don't remember what the Etsy shop that I ordered from. But these are made by Primrose Cottage. So I just there's 24 in a pack and I got 2. So they're pretty. I'm sure I could probably write on them when I need to, like, reuse them for DMC. I have no idea how many I'll need to put the silk on, but I was kind of wanting to stack up on some of those anyways. So. And 2 floss packs can't travel alone, so I decided to look through their patterns. Design name is Happiness is Heart Made. Grow on a Willow Tree. It was in their sale stuff. My plan is to just stitch the bird in the tree. So I don't care about an alphabet, but someday. No immediate plans. It did kind of get beat up in the mail a little bit, but it's just hurt, so no big deal. And it was literally just, oh, I don't really want to pay whatever the shipping was for 2 packs of floss drops, so let me add something else to it. So yeah. That is all that I have to share for stitching. I start to talk about, plans I'm going to do. My plans are to stitch, and you'll see next time what I stitch on. Obviously, my one plan is to finish Bergama borders, but beyond that, obviously see opal. Stitch what you want when you want, right? Life stuff has been kind of crazy. Just work has been absolutely wild. They made up a big change of how we're doing things, and what I can say is that it has made my days absolutely fly by. Definitely staying busy. There was one day, so I am a creature of habit. My stomach just growled too. I generally take my morning break from 10:30 to 11, and then I'll take lunch from 1 until 2, and, kind of breaks up the day. So the other day, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday, I did my, usual 10:30 to 11 break, and next thing I knew, it was like 10 minutes to 1, and I felt like I had just come back from my break. The time just disappeared in a blink of an eye. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I've been working some overtime and that, so it's just, so there's been long days because of that, so days flying by I'm not complaining about, but it's been an adjustment, and there's definitely been some days that it's like, oh, I'm just ready to be done with work. But good things, just busy. I am taking a break from the overtime this coming week, just mix things up a little bit. So definitely don't want to get too burned out, you know, working from home, but still it's work and I have to be at my desk certain hours of the day, and you know. So like I said, I got my new eyeglasses. I did order sunglasses just online, and I got the shipping notification today, so I'll see those probably a couple weeks. The world is still going crazy. I swear every single day it's something different, and I don't know when it's gonna stop. I don't know. I have no words for things that are going on in this country. What can you do? So I sit here and stitch. Yeah. That's about all I got. Like I said, I have a plan of stitching filming a bit of an unboxing this week. Like I said, it'll be a short video, but I so cannot wait to see what I end up getting. I'll tell the whole story when I unbox it. Yeah. I know this weekend is Mother's Day, so if you celebrate, happy Mother's Day to mothers, to fathers who have had to fill the roles of mothers, to fur baby mamas. If this weekend is tough for you, I recognize you. I see you. My love goes out to you. Hope you can find some solace in stitching, or, your people, all that good stuff. So, yeah, that's about all I got. I gotta get wrapped up here, see if I can hopefully try to get this thing loaded soon. I got places to be, and yeah, we're gonna craft and stitch and all that kind of stuff. One of these times I do want to share my little junk journaling that I've been doing, just other crafty stuff. I'm getting other ideas of stuff that I want to do, and I can't wait for Crystal and I to get together again. Last weekend we were at Barnes & Noble, and she and I each bought separate the thing that I bought. It was in the magazine section. I'd seen about it on TikTok. Company name like paper or something like that. It's like basically a huge ephemera pack, magazine style, and there's a particular page of paper in there that I just got to do something with, and so I'm excited. It's kind of one of those things that I tend to not do on my own, and so when Crystal and I can get together, so definitely got some ideas that I want to do with that. So maybe one of these videos I'll show that, or I don't know, I could always do a Flosstube, not Flosstube extra. I don't know, we'll see. I hope you are getting lots of stitching time in. If not a whole lot of stitching time, I hope you at least are enjoying the time that you do get. Stitch what brings you joy. We'll see you again in a couple weeks.